All right, so we've saved the most complicated bit of custom content editor for last. I'm going to go ahead and save quick really here. And over here, we're going to open up the custom cell content editor again. Click use custom cell content. And in this case, we're going to do custom logic. So these other ones, the Excel function lets you use native Excel functions, sums, VLOOKUPs, index match, things like that. Hardcode lets you just type in whatever you want, and then mapped field lets you pull in additional information that's not tied to a specific ticket, usually invoice information or a settlement information. But the one that probably gives you the most flexibility, but is also the most complicated, is going to be this custom logic editor. So if I click on this, it's going to open up a custom logic settings section that is very similar to the rate sheet logic editor. It's actually using kind of the same components here. So if you're familiar with that, you'll be right at home here. If not, we'll kind of try and explain it a bit. But basically, your custom logics let you pull information from the tickets and make decisions about what content to show based on what ticket information is there. So this is made up of conditions and formulas. So a condition, if we click on add condition, we are going to have kind of an if or else statement. So if this condition is met, we're going to go here. Otherwise, we're going to go down here. So we're going to go ahead and put in if, and then in here we can choose all of the same things that you can map to. But we're going to say if we'll do something based off of mileage. So I'm going to scroll down here. I believe mileage is underneath the measurements section. We could also just use the search at the top. But we're going to say if the rerouted miles are greater than 0, so we're going to choose a hard-coded number and put in 0. So basically, if there was rerouted miles specified on this ticket, since it's greater than 0, then we can add in a formula. And in here, we're going to, well, actually, let's put a formula down here. I'm going to go in, and we could remove a formula here if we wanted to. But I'm going to say we're going to put in a hard-coded string, and we're going to say this is not rerouted. And my operator for hard-coded strings is going to be nothing. So basically, this is a non-reroute. Up here, though, I'm going to put in one more condition in here, and we're going to pull up that same one. So mileage, we'll type it in, get rerouted miles, and we're going to say if it's greater than or equal to, and we'll put in a hard-coded number. Again, we're going to say if it's greater than or equal to 25 miles, then we're going to add a formula. We're just going to put in the hard-coded string. Usually on these, you do a lot of hard-coded strings and hard-coded numbers for whatever conditions you need here. But I'm going to put in a hard-coded string right here. So if it's greater than or equal to 25, then I want to say that this is a long-distance reroute. Otherwise, I'm going to change and put a formula down here. So if we kind of work through this again, you can see if it's greater than 0, and then it's not greater than 25, so it's between 0 and 25, we can go ahead and put in a hard-coded string that says, we'll call it short distance reroute. So, and then up here, I probably want to name this. We're going to call this coded distance reroutes or something. So this could be as complicated or simple as you need it to be. You could put in a bunch of conditions. You could go 10 conditions deep and have all sorts of different parts of a ticket getting used in here. Barrels, mileages, reroutes, wait times, whatever like this needs to be. Usually it's not that complicated, but it is as complicated as it needs to be. But basically all this custom logic, what it lets you do is it will kind of let you go in and pretty much under any circumstance, you can take information in there. Like hard code lets you just put in a number. This one lets you put in whatever you need, but also based off of some other criteria that needs to be met. So it's pretty useful once in a while. Most reports do not use this. Most reports don't even use the custom content. Usually you're able to get away with just showing ticket information. But these ones right here, they do let you, of varying degrees of difficulty. That one's obviously probably the most difficult, but it gives you the absolute most flexibility to go in and do a bunch of other stuff in there. In fact, it even lets you do kind of a little bit of math in there too. So if we wanted to go back into the custom cell content, what we could do, let's just remove this not rerouted. I'll copy that so I can re-add it back in. But if instead we wanted to have like the sum of like mileages, we could add in a formula and we could do, mileage standard plus mileage reroute. So we could do that. And in fact, if we wanted to subtract that from the other one, we could do the step 1 result. So we could do standard plus reroute, and then we can do that minus, let's say, the loaded, for example. So this could be a way to find the discrepancy. Take the standard distance plus the reroute and make sure that it matches up with their loaded. So you could make sure that this kind of zeroes out. So some cool stuff you can do in there if you wanted to. I'm going to remove I'll just remove that step and redo this first one right here. So we're going to do up here at the top, hard-coded string again, and change back to nothing. So we could go ahead and save that. But yeah, so you may never need to use that. If you do, you're more than welcome to reach out to support. They can walk you through it. But if any of your customers ever throw a curveball at you in terms of what they want in their report, there is no way that LoadCall can get stumped with it. This can handle any sort of weird situation that they've got coming for you. So pretty useful. But in the next section, we're going to talk about a little bit more and kind of start wrapping this up.